Corey Atwood here from BegoGames.com, and I'm here at PAX East 2017, and I've just checked out Sundered from Thunder Lotus Games. I'm here speaking with Will. Will, how you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for stopping by.
No problem. Now, tell me about Sundered.
Sundered is a horrifying fight for survival and sanity. It's a replayable Metroidvania where you resist or embrace ancient eldritch powers.
Now, your studio's last game, forgive me if I mispronounce it, Jotun, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool, I got it. Jotun, now that had a lot of Nordic mythology. Does this borrow from any in particular mythologies or no?
So we were primarily influenced by H.P. Lovecraft. That was definitely the starting point. But whereas Jotun was a very authentic take on Norse mythology, with Sundered we're kind of inspired by Lovecraft, but building up our own universe.
Yeah, there are a lot of tentacles, I noticed.
Yeah, I'm not going to be Googling like Sundered tentacle stuff once the game comes out.
Yeah, don't go down that corridor. Now, what are some of the key? You mentioned Metroidvania. In Metroidvania, you advance by getting different abilities. What are some of the abilities in this game?
So in the demo you just played, there's the hook shot that you get, the wall run. There's some more classic ones like the double jump, the shield. But what's really cool in Sundered is that the whole resist or embrace tagline. So you can choose to corrupt those abilities, and if you do, you get a more powerful eldritch version of them, but at the cost of your humanity. That has impacts on gameplay and on the story.
So what specifically are some of those impacts? Like, is this like you jump to the dark side and like you have different powers? Does it affect the ending at all?
Yeah, so all of that. It affects gameplay. So for example, the power dash that you got that you can like use in the air. When you start out, you can only roll on the ground, and then when you get that ability, it allows you to dash through the air. And if you corrupt that ability, you can do it in 360 degrees, so you can do it in any direction, so it becomes much more powerful. But if you do corrupt your abilities, then you'll have a different ending.
So how do you corrupt the abilities? Like, what's the difference between a regular ability and then once it's corrupted? Does it get more powerful, or what happens?
Yeah, it gets a lot more powerful, but it comes at a cost to your humanity. So when you beat a boss, or you can find them through the world as well, but when you beat a boss, you get an Elder Shard, and then you can bring that Elder Shard back to that we shrine that you saw, where you got that big like beam of light come down. You bring your Elder Shard back there. It's really crazy. Like we have a really cool effect on there, and then you get the corrupted version of the ability.
And I know in Jotun some of the bosses were enormous. They had very large characters. Are there? I was just playing the regular game, and I noticed you cut the demo off right when I got to the boss. Tell me about the bosses. Are they like enormous, like in Jotun?
Yes. That's something we definitely wanted to keep from Jotun. Was a huge success. Was those big boss fights, super epic moments, scripted boss fights. So it's something that we're definitely keeping for Sundered.
And I know there's procedurally generated levels along with like scripted levels. What percentage is procedurally generated versus scripted, and how does that exactly work?
In terms of percentage, I'm not sure, but the overall structure of the world is set in stone. So you have some rooms are always in the same spot, and then in between those you have sections that are procedurally generated. So we take a bunch of rooms, we put them together, have special events happen at those moments as well. So that every time you die, your experience is still fresh every time you play.
Yeah, I noticed like the rooms seemed like they were like re-scrambled every time, but it did seem to get easier once you collect those shards and you can level back up. Now, as far as the affecting your sanity, does that affect anything else aside from being corrupted? Because I know in some games you start to go insane, screen things change, aesthetic things change.
Yeah, it's something that we're definitely looking into right now. We're still in alpha, but it is on our to-do list to add a bunch of things that happen in-game that will kind of show how you're losing your humanity and what the effects of corruption have on you as a player, and also on your character as well.
So I know you said you're in alpha, but what's the forecast right now for a release date?
We're launching in July on Steam and PS4.
At the same time?
Yep.
Any plans for any other platforms or no?
Nothing we're discussing at the moment.
And what kind of price point are we looking at?
We're looking at $20.
$20, it seems very accurate. It's a lot of fun. Tell me about the animation and the music. The music's pretty gorgeous too.
Thank you. Well, it's the same art team and the same composer and sound effects team that we had on Jotun is working on Sundered. So everything in the game is 2D, hand-drawn animation, hand-drawn backgrounds, everything is hand-drawn. And the score, the OST is all composed for every gameplay moment. It's composed specifically for Sundered. So and yeah, Max LL is doing our soundtrack again, so we're super happy to be working with him again. And so far, he's put out some really creepy tracks, so we're really happy.
Yeah, they did. It did seem quite atmospheric. And again, don't Google hand-drawn tentacles. It's just a bad idea. So, all right. Well, we're really looking forward to it, and thanks for taking some time to talk to us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, guys.